How this royal bird earns $5 from simple grass. 1. Opening. What if the secret to a high farm income wasn't pigs or chickens, but a strange, majestic bird with a golden crown and the heart of a lion? Imagine this. The first rays of morning light stretch across a quiet countryside. A thin layer of mist rolls over a green orchard. The air is cool, the sky still painted with dawn's soft colors, and from a distance, you hear it, the deep, confident honking of a flock of lion geese. Their wings shimmer with gray and silver tones as they glide across the pasture, nibbling on grass and weeds that most farmers would simply throw away. Now imagine every patch of grass in your backyard turning into profit, every blade of weed transformed into income. That's the magic of this forgotten species, a bird so tough it laughs at disease, so efficient it feeds mostly on what nature already provides, and so majestic it could be the wagyu of the waterfowl world. Across Asia, from the highlands of Vietnam to the farms of China, small farmers are quietly writing a new chapter in modern agriculture. They're taking the simplest, most natural thing, grass, and turning it into gold. These are not massive corporations or industrial farms. They're everyday people, like you, who decided to look at their land differently, not as a burden, but as a hidden opportunity. The lion goose isn't just another animal. It's a symbol of what's possible when we return to balance with nature, when we let the land work with us, not against us. Its calm nature, rapid growth, and powerful build make it one of the most profitable, yet underrated creatures in modern farming. Today, we'll uncover the secrets behind this incredible bird. We'll explore how rural farmers across Asia are transforming weeds into wealth, and how you can do the same, right from your own backyard. Because the next agricultural revolution might not roar, it might honk. 2. Meet the lion goose, the overlooked giant. Few animals combine elegance, power, and practicality the way the lion goose does. Born from centuries of careful breeding in Guangdong, China, this extraordinary bird has quietly made its way across Asia, from the lush deltas of Vietnam to the warm tropics of Southeast Asia, adapting effortlessly wherever it goes. But despite its noble looks and incredible potential, it remains one of farming's best-kept secrets. The lion goose stands like a small emperor in the pasture, broad chest, muscular frame, and a proud stance that commands attention. Its feathers shimmer in deep shades of gray and charcoal, catching the light as it moves gracefully through tall grass. But what makes it truly unique is the golden wattle, a bright, crown-like crest that sits right above its beak, glowing in the sun like a symbol of quiet royalty. Farmers across Asia call it the king of geese. And once you see it in person, you'll understand why. This bird isn't just beautiful, it's built like a tank. After just 75 to 90 days, a healthy lion goose can weigh between 11 to 13 pounds, 5 to 6 kilograms. Give it time, 2 or 3 years of natural growth, and some individuals can reach an astonishing 17 pounds, 7 to 8 kilograms. Yet, despite their size, they remain gentle grazers, perfectly content spending their days trimming weeds, feasting on vegetables, and cleaning up crop residues that most farms would consider waste. And that's where their true genius lies: efficiency. Lion geese convert grass, wild plants, and vegetable scraps into high-value, lean meat, with almost no dependence on expensive feed. They're nature's quiet recyclers, turning what's cheap and abundant into something precious and profitable. But perhaps their most impressive trait is their resilience. They rarely fall sick, their immune systems are strong, and they adapt well to both heat and humidity. For small-scale farmers, that means fewer antibiotics, lower costs, and healthier products. For large-scale producers, it means stability and predictable returns, two things every business owner dreams of. Imagine a bird that doesn't destroy your pasture, but improves it, that doesn't demand endless feed, but thrives on what your land already gives. The lion goose doesn't fight nature, it flows with it. Its daily routine is a perfect example of harmony: grazing by day, bathing in ponds by afternoon, and resting peacefully at night. In return, it gives back, not only in profit but also in sustainability. reducing weeds, fertilizing the soil, and promoting natural balance. In Western terms, if chickens are your quick cash flow, then lion geese are your long-term investment portfolio. They grow slower, but they pay off bigger, in quality, in resilience, and in long-term sustainability. They aren't just livestock, they're living assets, building wealth for farmers who think beyond the next harvest. And yet, most of the world has never heard of them. The lion goose has remained a hidden legend, quietly thriving in small Asian farms while the rest of the agricultural world chases after industrial solutions. But as modern farmers search for cleaner, greener, and more profitable models, this once overlooked bird is finally stepping into the spotlight. Because in the age of smart farming and regenerative agriculture, the lion goose is more than a relic of tradition, it's a symbol of the future. 3. Why farmers are switching. The profit equation. At first glance, raising geese might seem old-fashioned, a thing of the past, replaced by industrial chicken houses and automated pig farms. But when farmers start doing the math, the lion goose quickly proves to be a modern-day goldmine hiding in plain sight. Let's break it down. On the current market, lion goose meat sells for around $4 to $5 per pound. That's comparable to premium free-range chicken, but with far less maintenance and higher margins. A single breeding pair can fetch $40 to $50, while each egg sells for $1 to $1.20, depending on freshness and local demand. Now imagine a small farm managing a flock of just 300 geese. In about 4 to 6 months, that modest operation can generate anywhere from $3 to $5 in clean profit, not gross revenue, but actual earnings after feed and care. That's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's steady, reliable income, built on biology, not luck. Now compare that to chickens or ducks. Sure, they grow fast, but they're fragile, they get sick easily, require high-protein feed, and often depend on antibiotics just to survive industrial conditions. Geese, on the other hand, thrive outdoors. They graze on what nature already provides: grass, weeds, and garden scraps, cutting feed costs by up to 70%. Every pound of meat comes from energy already present in your land, not from expensive bags of pellets. Think about the sustainability of that model. No feed waste, no pollution, no stress. Every part of the lion goose system loops back into the ecosystem. Their droppings fertilize the soil. Their grazing keeps weeds under control. And their diet requires almost no imported grain. While other farms rely on constant inputs, goose farming operates like a self-sustaining cycle. It's not just eco-friendly, it's economically liberating. Farmers who once struggled to balance feed bills now find themselves turning a profit with less labor and lower risk. In many rural regions of Vietnam, for instance, former shrimp or duck farmers have switched to lion geese because of their predictable returns and near-zero disease outbreaks. I used to spend half my time fighting water quality issues, one farmer said. Now my biggest problem is keeping up with customer orders. The beauty of this system is its simplicity. You don't need sophisticated equipment, expensive feed, or a team of workers. Just a clean pasture, a water source, and a bit of patience. Nature does the rest. Visually, it's the difference between two worlds. On one side, the image of a traditional feed farm, noisy, crowded, and dependent on constant inputs. On the other, a quiet green pasture dotted with grazing geese, sunlight glinting off the pond, the sound of wings beating as they stretch and preen. One farm consumes resources, the other creates them. The numbers don't lie, but the story goes deeper than profit margins. The lion goose offers something that industrial farming lost long ago: freedom. The freedom to work with the land instead of against it. The freedom to earn without harming the environment. The freedom to build a small, sustainable business that grows stronger each season. And that's why more farmers, from Asia to the American heartland, are rethinking what profitable farming really means. It's not just about yields or production speed anymore. It's about resilience. It's about harmony. It's about finding wealth in the simplest forms of life. This is green farming with golden returns, a system where prosperity and sustainability finally walk hand in hand. 4. The setup. Build your dream pasture farm. So, you've decided to raise lion geese. Congratulations! You're not just starting a small farm, you're building a living ecosystem. One that can feed your family, restore your soil, and even bring in real income. The best part? You don't need acres of land or expensive barns. You just need a bit of space, good planning, and a deep respect for nature's rhythm. Let's build your dream pasture farm, step by step. Step 1. Choose the perfect location. Lion geese love open air, gentle sunshine, and clean water. Pick a spot that's dry, breezy, and partially shaded, somewhere the morning sun can warm them, but afternoon trees or tarps can keep them cool. Avoid swampy or enclosed areas. Geese don't like standing water that doesn't move. A small pond, artificial pool, or even a kiddie swimming pool with daily water exchange can work perfectly. If you're in a suburban area or have limited space, don't worry, a half-acre plot, or even a large backyard, can support a manageable flock. Remember, these birds are grazers, not destroyers. Their gentle nibbling helps maintain grass height rather than tearing it apart like ducks or chickens. Step 2. Build simple, smart housing. Forget about concrete sheds or industrial barns. What lion geese need is comfort and cleanliness, not complexity. A basic raised wooden shelter works wonders, about 2 to 3 feet off the ground to prevent flooding and allow airflow. Use wood shavings, rice husk, or dry straw as flooring, about 3 to 4 inches thick. Mix in natural probiotics, the US equivalent of the V-Bio system used in Vietnam, every week. These beneficial microbes neutralize odor, break down waste, and keep bedding dry without constant replacement. In winter, add an insulating layer of straw and hang simple heat lamps if temperatures drop below freezing. In warmer months, natural airflow is enough. Always make sure there's plenty of space, about 2 to 4 geese per square meter, 10 to 20 square feet, inside. Plus access to open pasture during the day. Good ventilation equals healthy lungs and clean feathers. Think of your goose house as a spa, not a factory. Step 3. Design the grazing area. Lion geese thrive when they roam. Plan for at least 30 to 50 square meters, 320 to 540 square feet, per 10 birds. If you're in a rural setting, fenced pastures are ideal. Use netting or low electric fences, around 2 feet high, not to keep them in, but to keep predators out. A simple rotational grazing system works beautifully. Divide your pasture into 2 or 3 sections and move your flock every few days. This allows grass to regrow, prevents overgrazing, and naturally fertilizes your soil with goose manure. Within weeks, you'll notice your land turning greener and more vibrant, nature's reward for working with her. If space is tight, supplement grazing with garden vegetables, kitchen scraps, and farm byproducts. These birds adore greens, lettuce, spinach, banana stems, pumpkin vines, even trimmed weeds. Step 4. Water and hygiene, the heart of the farm. Geese need water for 3 reasons: drinking, cleaning, and cooling. Fresh, clean water should always be available, ideally in troughs or shallow ponds deep enough for them to dip their heads. This keeps their eyes and nostrils clean and reduces disease risk. If you're creative, you can even use a small recirculating pond, the same systems used in backyard aquaponics setups. Geese love splashing, and the nutrient-rich water can later be used to irrigate your vegetable garden. It's a perfect zero-waste loop. Remember, dirty or stagnant water invites parasites. So, change it often or use a simple water filter pump, the same type used in koi ponds or backyard fish tanks. Step 5. Turn waste into wealth. What most people call waste, goose farmers call black gold. Every day, your lion geese will leave behind natural fertilizer, nitrogen-rich manure that boosts soil fertility and helps plants grow faster. When combined with bedding materials, it becomes the perfect compost. Here's a simple trick. Set up a bio-litter system under your shelter. Sprinkle rice husks or sawdust weekly and mix in beneficial microbes, like or compost starter. Within a month, the bedding will transform into rich organic compost you can sell or use in your garden. No smell, no waste, no pollution. This low-cost composting approach, inspired by Vietnam's V-Bio method, turns even small backyard farms into fully sustainable systems. Step 6. Bring life and joy to the space. Never underestimate the emotional side of farming. A clean, green pasture filled with healthy, happy animals does more than feed your body, it feeds your spirit. Visualize this: a golden afternoon. A few kids tossing grass to the geese. Their laughter blending with the birds' honks. The geese stretch their wings, dip into the pond, shake off the droplets like silver rain. The air smells fresh, the soil is alive. This is not just farming, this is freedom. And perhaps the most beautiful truth of all, you don't need to be a full-time farmer to start. Even a small backyard with a pond can become your mini eco-farm, generating food, income, and happiness all at once. The Lion Goose model isn't just about profit, it's about possibility. A way to reconnect with nature, live sustainably, and build something truly your own. 5. Choosing the right stock. Every successful farm starts with one simple truth: quality in equals quality out. The foundation of your Lion Goose journey isn't the pond or the pasture, it's the goslings you choose. Picking the right stock is like choosing the right seeds for your garden. Get it wrong, and you'll struggle all season. Get it right, and nature does most of the work for you. So, what makes a good Lion Goose gosling? It starts with appearance and behavior. Look for goslings that are alert and active, the kind that waddle confidently and chirp with energy. Their eyes should be bright and clear, feathers soft and smooth, and the vent area, the underside near the tail, should be clean and dry. A dirty vent often signals digestive issues. Check their legs, they should stand firm and walk steadily. Weak or twisted legs are red flags that the bird won't grow properly. A healthy gosling should weigh around 85 to 100 grams, 3–3.5 ounces, at hatch. Smaller ones often struggle to compete for food, while overly large ones might have been force-fed or poorly bred. Balance is key. You want sturdy, well-proportioned babies that look like they were built for strength, not speed. Now, where you buy your goslings matters just as much as what they look like. Always source from trusted hatcheries or certified local breeders. Look for farms that provide vaccination records and maintain clean facilities. In the US or Western countries, that might mean state-registered poultry hatcheries or small-scale organic breeders who specialize in heritage waterfowl. In Asia, many successful farmers rely on reputable suppliers such as the National Livestock Institutes or regional farm co-ops. If your goal is breeding rather than just meat production, maintain a proper male-to-female ratio, roughly 1 gander for every 4 to 5 females. This ensures high fertility rates without overstressing the males. Watch their interactions. A calm, dominant gander will protect and lead the flock, while aggressive or timid males should be replaced early on. And remember, don't be afraid to invest a little more in quality stock. The extra cost up front pays for itself many times over through faster growth, fewer health problems, and better egg yield. As one experienced farmer from Nagayan said, "A good start isn't luck, it's careful selection." That line captures the soul of sustainable farming. Great results don't happen by chance. They come from mindful choices. Choices made before a single drop of water hits the pond, before the first blade of grass is eaten. So start right, choose wisely, and your flock will reward you not just with profit, but with peace of mind. 6. Feeding for growth and profit. Feed is where most farmers either make or lose their profits. But with Lion Geese, the rules are different. These birds are natural grazers, quiet, efficient foragers that know how to turn what most people throw away into something valuable. The beauty of raising Lion Geese is that their diet aligns perfectly with nature's rhythm: simple, local, and sustainable. When managed right, feed costs only make up about 25 to 30% of total expenses, which is dramatically lower than chickens or ducks. The secret? They do most of the work for you. Let's break down their nutrition into 3 main groups: the foundation of your feeding plan. 1. Forage, 70 to 80% of the diet. The Lion Goose is a grass-eating machine. In fact, up to 80% of its daily nutrition can come straight from your backyard. These birds love a mix of grasses and leafy greens, things like Bermuda grass, ryegrass, clover, and alfalfa. If you have access to wild plants or weeds like dandelion, plantain, or even banana stalks, they'll devour them with enthusiasm. Add in vegetable scraps, cabbage leaves, pumpkin vines, carrot tops, spinach, even a few pieces of fruit, and you've got a full menu. Almost for free. In tropical or warm regions, pumpkin leaves, sweet potato vines, and chopped banana stems are favorites. For colder climates, farmers can grow or store hay from clover or wheatgrass for the winter months. The best part? Their grazing keeps your land naturally manicured. Instead of mowing your lawn or paying for grass removal, your geese turn it into lean, premium meat. That's why we like to say, you don't need to buy feed, your lawn is the feed. When grass supply is low, like in winter or drought, supplement with fermented greens or chopped silage. You can make your own by mixing grass clippings with rice bran or corn flour, storing it airtight for 2 weeks. This boosts digestion and adds natural probiotics to their diet. 2. Grain and energy feed, 20 to 30% of the diet. While forage forms the base, a little grain goes a long way to help your flock grow faster and maintain body condition. Think of it as the fuel that powers their natural grazing. The best energy feeds include corn, rice bran, wheat, barley, or broken rice. You don't need fancy blends or imported brands, just clean, mold-free grain. For convenience, many farmers mix a daily blend at home. 60% ground corn, 20% rice bran, 15% wheat or barley, 5% crushed soy or pea flour. Feed the mixture twice daily, once early in the morning, 6 to 7 a.m., and again before sunset, 5 to 6 p.m. Adult geese typically consume around 100 to 150 grams, 3.5 to 5 ounces, per bird per day. If you're handy with tools, consider using a DIY pellet press or a solar-powered feed grinder to make your own pellets from local ingredients. It reduces waste, keeps feed uniform, and can cut your costs by nearly 20%. For smaller homesteads, a hand crank mill or blender works just fine. The goal isn't to fatten them unnaturally, it's to provide a consistent energy source that complements what they find in the pasture. 3. Protein boosters and essential minerals. Geese grow strong on grass alone, but adding a touch of protein and minerals can make all the difference, especially during breeding season or for rapid growth. The best protein sources include soybean meal or roasted soybeans, for plant-based protein, fish meal or shrimp powder, for animal-based protein, 3 to 5% of total feed, peanut or sunflower meal, budget-friendly alternatives. These additions help build muscle, improve feather quality, and boost immunity. Don't forget calcium and minerals. Crushed oyster shells, limestone grit, or dried eggshells strengthen bones and help females lay thicker, healthier eggs. Add a pinch of vitamin premix, a DEB complex, once or twice a week. It keeps metabolism high and prevents deficiencies. A small tip from Asian farmers: occasionally mixing in fermented rice water or diluted apple cider vinegar keeps the digestive system healthy and reduces harmful bacteria naturally. 4. Water and feeding systems. A good feeding plan means nothing without clean water. Lion geese need constant access to fresh water for both drinking and cleaning. Dirty water can quickly lead to disease, so replace it daily. To save time, many modern homesteaders use automatic drinkers, gravity-fed or solar-powered systems that refill themselves. You can find affordable models online or build one with a bucket, hose, and nipple valves. Remember, clean water equals clean meat. 5. Feeding by age and purpose. Different stages of growth require different care. Goslings, 1 to 4 weeks. Feed a mash of ground corn, rice bran, and chopped greens 4 to 5 times daily. Keep feed soft and easy to digest. Growing phase, 1 to 3 months. Shift toward grazing with 2 daily grain supplements. Finishing phase, last 2 to 3 weeks. Increase grain, especially corn, to build mild fat for flavor. Breeding stock. Add protein, soy or fish meal, and calcium for fertility and egg quality. The key is balance, not overfeeding. Geese should always look active and alert, never bloated or sluggish. 6. The power of natural feeding. When you rely on nature, everything changes. Your geese grow cleaner, your meat tastes richer, and your operation becomes almost antibiotic-free. You're not fighting nature, you're partnering with it. Grass-fed geese have lower fat content, higher omega-3 levels, and no chemical residues. That's exactly what today's consumers want, clean meat with a story. You can proudly tell buyers, my flock eats sunlight and grass, not pellets and antibiotics. In the long run, this isn't just healthier, it's smarter. Less dependence on external feed means less vulnerability to market prices and supply shocks. You become more self-sufficient, more profitable, and more resilient. Raising lion geese is about redefining what feed means, not something you buy in bags, but something your land naturally gives. When managed properly, your farm becomes a living pantry, producing both food and feed in harmony. And that's the secret to real, lasting profit. Grow your feed. Grow your freedom. 7. The growth journey. Raising lion geese is like watching a slow, graceful transformation, from tiny, fluffy hatchlings into proud, majestic birds that seem to carry centuries of farming wisdom in their stride. Every day, they grow stronger. Every week, they change, and with every stage, your farm gets one step closer to profit and self-sufficiency. Let's walk through that journey together. Stage 1. Brooding, days 1 to 28. This is where the story begins, small yellow goslings chirping under a warm glow. Fragile yet full of promise. The first month is all about warmth, comfort, and gentle care. Set up a clean, draft-free brooding area with soft bedding made of rice husks, sawdust, or straw. Keep the temperature around 30 to 32 degrees Celsius, 86 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit, for the first week. Then gradually reduce it by 2 to 3 degrees Celsius each week until it matches the outdoor environment. A simple heat lamp or ceramic heater is perfect. You don't need fancy equipment, just consistency. Watch their behavior closely. It's the best thermometer you have. If the goslings huddle together, they're cold. If they spread out panting, they're too hot. The sweet spot is when they move freely, eating, drinking, and chirping happily. Feed them soft, easy to digest food, mashed corn, rice bran, and finely chopped greens. Give water in shallow containers so they can drink without getting soaked. Change it twice a day to avoid contamination. Most diseases in young goslings come from poor hygiene or damp bedding. So cleanliness is your best vaccine. Replace wet litter daily, and sprinkle probiotics or dry lime under the bedding to absorb moisture. Vaccinate at 7 to 10 days old against common poultry diseases, like duck plague or pasteurellosis, depending on local availability. In the U.S., many backyard farmers use natural immune boosters instead, garlic-infused water, apple cider vinegar, or herbal probiotics. These support digestion and reduce the risk of infection naturally. By the end of the first month, the goslings will have doubled or tripled in size, their feathers thickening and confidence growing. It's the perfect time to let them meet the outside world. Stage 2. The juvenile phase, weeks 4 to 10. This is when your lion geese truly come alive. They begin exploring, grazing, and bathing, discovering their natural rhythm. Start by allowing short grazing sessions each morning and evening. The fresh air and sunlight strengthen their bones, while natural grazing improves digestion and immunity. Gradually increase outdoor time until they can stay out most of the day. Make sure they have access to clean water for swimming or washing. It keeps their feathers in top condition and helps regulate body temperature. If you don't have a pond, a small pool or a tub works fine. Watching them splash and stretch their wings is not just adorable, it's essential for healthy growth. Feed them twice daily with your grain mix, corn, rice bran, or wheat, and supplement with plenty of greens. A little grit or crushed shell aids digestion. This stage is also when they start forming social bonds. Geese are highly intelligent and emotional creatures. They recognize faces, voices, and routines. Handle them gently, speak calmly, and they'll grow into friendly, cooperative birds that trust you. That relationship makes managing them easier, and honestly, more enjoyable. Keep up with simple hygiene routines. Clean water troughs daily, rake up droppings weekly, and spray the shelter floor with a diluted vinegar solution to disinfect naturally. If your region experiences rain or cold nights, bring them in before dark. Juveniles are hardy, but sudden temperature changes can stress their immune systems. By week 10, your geese should weigh around 9 to 11 pounds, 4 to 5 kilograms, strong, sleek, and ready for the final stretch. Stage 3. Finishing phase, last 2 to 3 weeks. This is where you add polish, both literally and financially. The finishing phase determines your final meat quality, flavor, and profit margin. Increase grain content in their diet, especially corn and rice bran, to encourage mild fat buildup. You're not aiming for obesity, just enough to give the meat that tender, buttery texture consumers love. Maintain access to greens. 2. It keeps the flavor clean and natural. Make sure they get at least 6 to 8 hours of direct sunlight daily. Sunlight stimulates vitamin D production and strengthens their bones, while also improving skin tone and overall vigor. Keep stress low during this period. Loud noises, overcrowding, or predators can cause geese to lose weight or stop eating. Maintain a calm environment, gentle routines, familiar feeding times, and safe enclosures. If you notice any limp feathers, watery eyes, or changes in appetite, act fast. Isolate the bird, check its droppings, and clean its environment. In small farms, prevention is far better than medication. By the end of the finishing stage, your lion geese will reach their ideal market weight, 11 to 13 pounds, 5 to 6 kilograms. Their feathers will be thick and glossy, their bodies firm and symmetrical. They'll look like living symbols of abundance, and that's exactly what they are. Every farmer remembers the moment they first realize their birds are ready. The sound of flapping wings in the morning, the weight of a mature goose in your hands, the satisfaction of knowing you raised them naturally. As one farmer in Dock Lock put it, every day they grow stronger, and your income grows with them. Raising lion geese isn't just about production. It's about patience, care, and connection. It's the art of turning simple routines, feeding, cleaning, walking the pasture, into a rhythm that brings both peace and profit. This is the journey from feather to fortune, and it all happens in your backyard. 8. Health and disease prevention. Healthy geese aren't just a sign of good management, they're a reflection of your farm's entire ecosystem. When your flock thrives, your soil, water, and even your peace of mind thrive with it. Disease prevention isn't about fighting nature, it's about understanding and working with it. As many successful farmers like to say, a healthy flock is your best advertisement. Common issues and how to prevent them. Even though lion geese are famously hardy, every living creature can face health challenges if the environment isn't balanced. The good news is that most problems are easy to prevent with cleanliness, observation, and natural care. Let's look at the most common issues you may encounter, and how to stop them before they start. 1. Pasteurellosis, goose cholera. This bacterial disease can strike suddenly, especially in damp or overcrowded areas. Symptoms include lethargy, labored breathing, and small red spots under the skin. Prevention starts with clean water, dry litter, and space. Keep ponds and troughs clean, changing the water at least once a week, or daily if you can. Disinfect shelters regularly with vinegar or lime powder. Avoid mixing geese with ducks or chickens, as they can carry pathogens. If an outbreak does occur, isolate affected birds immediately. In regions like the US, You can consult a vet about USDA-approved vaccines for Pasteurella or use long-acting oxytetracycline under professional supervision. But in small scale, natural setups, prevention through hygiene is usually enough. 2. Vitamin A deficiency. Because lion geese rely heavily on greens, this issue typically arises only when birds are kept indoors or during winter when fresh forage is limited. You'll notice dull feathers, watery eyes, or a decline in egg production. Prevent it by supplementing with fresh or dried greens, spinach, pumpkin, or alfalfa. A few drops of cod liver oil or multivitamin syrup in their water once a week. Homemade solutions like adding fermented rice water, rich in B vitamins, or grated carrots to feed. Think of it this way: every bit of color in their diet, green, orange, yellow, adds life to their system. 3. Feather pecking and aggression. Feather pecking usually means boredom, overcrowding, or a lack of minerals, not bad behavior. These are intelligent, social creatures. If they don't have enough room or stimulation, they'll redirect their energy at each other. Here's how to fix it. Increase grazing space or rotate pastures more often. Hang bundles of leafy greens or vegetable stalks for enrichment. Add calcium and trace minerals, crushed oyster shell or grit, to support feather growth. In serious cases, a few drops of apple cider vinegar in their water helps reduce stress and balance digestion. Within days, you'll notice calmer behavior, because happy geese are peaceful geese. Natural remedies that work. Farmers across Asia and Europe have perfected simple, natural ways to keep their geese healthy without heavy chemical use. Here are a few that work wonders. Garlic water. Crush 3 to 4 cloves of garlic per gallon of drinking water. It's a natural antibacterial and immune booster. Herbal dewormers. Mix papaya seeds, pumpkin seeds, or ground turmeric into feed once a week to control internal parasites. Probiotics, effective microorganisms, available at garden stores or online. These beneficial bacteria help keep bedding fresh and strengthen gut health when mixed in drinking water or sprayed over the shelter floor. Neem or lemongrass spray acts as a natural insect repellent and keeps flies away from coops and ponds. These methods don't just prevent disease, they create a balanced micro-ecosystem where good bacteria outnumber the bad. Routine care schedule. Keeping a healthy flock doesn't require complex routines. A simple weekly rhythm works best. Daily. Refresh water. Observe for limping or drooping wings. Remove wet bedding. Weekly. Disinfect drinking containers and lightly rake the shelter floor. Monthly. Add probiotics to water. Spray natural disinfectants. And rotate grazing zones. Observation is your greatest tool. Spend time watching your geese during feeding and bathing. You'll learn their normal patterns. When something's off, you'll know immediately. The farmer's philosophy. Healthy birds attract attention. Visitors can see the glow of wellness, clean feathers, alert eyes, confident movements. That's not just biology, that's branding. A vibrant flock is your walking business card. Your social proof that natural farming works. In traditional Asian farming, there's a saying, if your animals are calm, your land is at peace. It's more than poetry, it's truth. Every clean pond, every balanced diet, every act of care ripples through the entire ecosystem. When your geese thrive, so does your soil, your crops, and your livelihood. Because in the world of sustainable farming, health is the first harvest. 9. Real farmer success stories. Behind every great farming idea are real people, men and women who took risks, learned from mistakes, and found success not through luck, but through persistence. The Lion Goose has changed the lives of small farmers across Asia, proving that innovation doesn't always mean high-tech. Sometimes, it means rediscovering what nature has already perfected. Here are 3 remarkable stories that show how this humble bird is rewriting the rules of rural prosperity, and how its lessons can inspire farmers everywhere. Story 1. Tran Ton, Doc Loc, Vietnam, from orchard keeper to goose millionaire. In the highlands of Doc Loc, A man named Tran Ton used to spend his days tending to a small durian orchard. The trees were healthy, but the weeds were relentless. Each week, he spent hours cutting grass and clearing vines, time-consuming work that barely kept up with growth. Fertilizer costs were climbing, and profits were shrinking. Then one day, he stumbled upon a video about lion geese, large, gray birds known for their gentle grazing habits and incredible resilience. Skeptical but curious, he decided to try something different. With his savings, he bought 50 young geese, built a simple wooden shelter beside his orchard, and released them among the trees. The results were stunning. Within weeks, the weeds vanished, eaten down to the roots. The geese fertilized the soil naturally, saving him hundreds of dollars on chemical inputs. Even better, they thrived on the orchard's grasses and fallen fruit, needing almost no commercial feed. 6 months later, Tran Ton expanded his flock to 300 geese. His orchard became greener, cleaner, and more productive than ever before. He sold the birds during Lunar New Year, earning the equivalent of $300 per month in steady profit, while still maintaining his orchard with half the effort. Today, visitors come from nearby towns to see his unique, goose-powered garden. Tran smiles and says, "I used to fight weeds. Now, the geese do it for me, and they pay the bills." Story 2. Dinh Van Vinh. Nguyen, turning rice fields into free-range gold. Hundreds of miles to the north, in Nguyen province, Dinh Van Vinh was facing a different challenge. His family's rice paddies produced just enough to cover expenses, but the profit margins were razor-thin. After harvest season, the land sat empty for months. Instead of letting it idle, Vinh decided to transform it. He drained a section of the paddy, fenced it off, and turned it into a natural grazing area for 300 lion geese. The plan was simple: use the rice stubble, leftover grains, and field weeds as natural feed. At first, the neighbors laughed. "Geese in rice fields? They'll ruin the soil," they said. But Vinh stayed patient. Within a few weeks, it became clear that he was onto something extraordinary. The geese thrived in the open space, cleaning up leftover grains and weeds while fertilizing the field at the same time. By the 4th month, Vinh had a 94% survival rate, with most geese reaching 11 to 12 pounds. He sold them to local clean food stores and restaurants that were eager for antibiotic-free meat. His earnings? 63 million Vietnamese dong, or roughly $2.500 USD. After expenses, nearly triple what he made from a single rice season. More importantly, his land's fertility improved. The following rice crop grew stronger, greener, and required less fertilizer. When asked about his success, Vinh simply said, "You don't fight nature, you work with it. When you listen to the land, it rewards you." That single line has since become a motto for farmers who visit his farm for training. Story 3. Nguyen Duc Tin. Quang Binh. Geese beat the shrimp game. In the coastal province of Quang Binh, Nguyen Duc Tin had spent years raising shrimp and fish. It was profitable when things went well. But disease outbreaks, fluctuating water quality, and unstable prices made it a stressful gamble. Some seasons, he earned well; others, he lost everything. Searching for something more stable, Tin attended a training workshop hosted by the local agricultural service center. There, he learned about lion geese, their resistance to disease, low feed costs, and potential for high profit. Intrigued, he decided to experiment. He built a modest shelter and bought 300 goslings, each weighing barely 3 ounces. He followed the bio-litter method and fed them mainly greens and crop byproducts. Unlike shrimp, there were no chemicals, no water testing, no sleepless nights worrying about temperature fluctuations. In just 4.5 months, his geese reached market size, averaging 5 kilograms, 11 pounds, each. Out of 300, only 9 didn't survive, a 97% success rate. His profits surpassed what he used to earn from shrimp, with half the labor and 1/10 the risk. When reporters asked him to compare the two, he laughed. "Shrimp can make you rich fast, or broke faster. Geese? They make you steady. They don't die overnight. They don't need medicine. And they don't complain. Now, Tin's Green Goose Farm is a model for local cooperatives. Young farmers visit to learn how he uses geese and pond water to fertilize nearby vegetable gardens, creating a fully sustainable loop. The bigger picture. These aren't isolated stories, they're proof of a quiet revolution, one that blends old wisdom with new thinking. Whether it's clearing weeds in fruit orchards, revitalizing rice fields, or replacing risky aquaculture ventures, the Lion Goose is helping small farmers build resilience and restore balance. Each of these farmers started small, just 50 or 100 birds. None of them had advanced machinery or major funding. What they had was curiosity, observation, and courage to try something unconventional. Their stories remind us of something powerful. Farming doesn't always need to scale up, sometimes it just needs to wise up. In the words of Tran Tan, the orchard keeper turned goose millionaire. We didn't invent anything new. We just learned to let nature do what it does best. And that's the true spirit of the farmer's ally, turning simplicity into sustainability. And turning small beginnings into lasting success. 10. The formula for sustainable wealth. Sustainability isn't just a buzzword, it's the new foundation of real wealth. The farmers of tomorrow won't be measured by the size of their barns or the number of animals they raise, but by how wisely they use every drop of water, every blade of grass, and every ounce of sunlight. And the Lion Goose model proves that you don't need massive capital or high-tech machinery to achieve it. You just need a modern mindset, one that blends technology with tradition. 1. The power of smart farming. Technology meets nature. In the past, farming meant sweat, manual labor, and endless uncertainty. Today, it's about data, precision, and efficiency. A farmer with a smartphone now holds the power that once required an entire research team. Imagine this. A solar aerator quietly runs by your pond, keeping the water oxygenated without a single cent spent on electricity. A smart pump system detects when the pond's water level drops and refills it automatically. Feed sensors track how much grain the geese eat each day, sending data to your phone, helping you cut waste and maintain consistent nutrition. These tools aren't futuristic, they're already being used by small farmers across Vietnam, the Philippines, and even the rural US, and thanks to affordable solar technology, anyone can build a smart farm without needing to wire the entire property or rely on the grid. Technology doesn't replace the farmer, it empowers the farmer. It saves time, cuts costs, and lets you focus on what truly matters, the health of your animals and the quality of your product. As one farmer from Quang Binh said during a workshop, "I still work with my hands, but now my phone works with me." 2. Recycling waste into wealth. Every successful farmer eventually learns this truth. Nothing on a good farm is wasted. The Lion Goose system is naturally circular. The grass feeds the geese fertilize the soil, and the soil grows more grass. Their droppings, often seen as waste, are actually a goldmine for soil health. Each adult goose produces nearly 25 to 30 kilograms, 55 to 66 pounds, of manure per year. Rich in nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, collected and composted correctly. That's enough to fertilize a small vegetable garden or orchard without buying a single chemical bag. Here's how to turn it into profit. 1. Mix goose manure with dry bedding, wood shavings, rice husks, or straw. 2. Add a bit of molasses or sugar water and effective microorganisms. 3. Let it ferment in a covered bin for 2 to 3 weeks. What comes out isn't waste, it's organic fertilizer that you can use, sell, or barter with neighboring farms. Some farmers even brand it under local names like Green Gold Compost or EcoBoost Fertilizer. By recycling farm waste, you not only save hundreds of dollars a year but also protect your land from pollution and chemical runoff. The farm becomes a closed-loop system, one that gives back more than it takes. 3. The crop plus livestock synergy. True sustainability isn't about doing one thing perfectly. It's about connecting everything you do into a single, living system. The Lion Goose fits beautifully into integrated farming models. In orchards, they clear weeds and fertilize the trees naturally. In rice paddies, they feed on leftover grains, insects, and snails. Around fish ponds, they reduce algae and keep water nutrient balanced. Each part supports the other. The animals feed the plants. The plants feed the animals. And the soil stays rich year after year. It's the same philosophy that's guiding regenerative farming movements in the US and Europe today. Instead of separating crops and livestock, modern farmers are blending them again, just as nature intended. This integration builds resilience. When one product's price drops, another compensates. If drought hits your vegetable patch, your geese still graze. If feed prices rise, your orchard still provides food. No single event can collapse your system because every piece supports the rest. It's not just sustainable farming, it's survival farming, built for the unpredictable 21st century. 4. The future isn't industrial, it's intelligent. For decades, the world believed that industrial farming was the future: more machines, more animals, more output. But we now know the truth. That model is collapsing under its own weight. It drains the soil, pollutes the water, and leaves farmers chained to debt. The future isn't industrial, it's intelligent. It's smaller, smarter, and more personal. It's powered by sunlight, data, and human passion. It's a future where every farmer becomes both a producer and a conservationist, someone who feeds others and heals the land. You don't need thousands of birds to build wealth. You just need a clear system that makes every goose, every drop of water, and every patch of grass work for you. That's sustainable wealth, steady, clean, and deeply fulfilling. 5. Small changes, big resilience. You don't have to overhaul your entire operation overnight. Start small. Replace one electric pump with a solar one. Start composting instead of burning or dumping waste. Let your geese graze under your fruit trees instead of mowing weeds. Each small shift strengthens your system. Over time, you'll notice lower costs, healthier animals, and better soil. Your farm won't just survive, it will adapt. And that's the secret formula: smart tools, circular systems, and natural balance. In a world chasing faster profits and bigger factories, the real winners will be those who learn to think small, act smart, and work in harmony with the land. Because the Lion Goose doesn't just teach us how to farm, it teaches us how to live. 11. How to start small and scale. The smartest farms don't start big, they start simple. Then scale with proof. Don't wait for a perfect property, a fancy barn, or a grant that may never come. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Start where you are. With Lion Geese, a small, well-run flock can fund your next expansion. Here's the step-by-step path that works. Step 1. Begin with 20 to 50 birds. This flock size is large enough to teach you real lessons but small enough to manage solo. Set up a basic raised shelter, a clean water system, and 2 small paddocks so you can rotate grazing every few days. Keep records from day 1, daily feed offered, pasture hours, water changes, and any health notes. Your goal in phase 1 isn't maximum profit, it's to learn your land and build a repeatable routine. Daily rhythm, sample. 6:30 a.m., release to pasture. Check water, quick body scan. Noon, rotate shade, top up drinkers. 5:30 p.m., bring in for grain. Lock shelter, note weights, behavior. Step 2. Measure what matters. Within the first 30 to 45 days, start tracking 3 simple metrics that predict success. 1. Average daily gain, ADG, a weekly weight check on 10 sample birds. 2. Forage percentage, estimate how much of the diet comes from grass versus grain. Aim for 70 to 80% forage. 3. Feed cost per pound gained, your North Star for profitability. Use a notebook or a free spreadsheet app on your phone. Trends matter more than perfection. If growth slows, increase pasture time or tighten evening grain portions. If feed costs creep up, Add more chopped greens or adjust rotation timing. Step 3. Tune the system at 6 to 8 weeks. As the birds enter their juvenile phase, refine your infrastructure. Add one extra paddock so grass recovers faster. Upgrade to automatic drinkers to save labor and keep water clean. Start a bio-litter compost line for bedding plus manure, flip it weekly. Predator-proof the shelter, hardware cloth. Secure latches, motion lights. This is also a good time to test your sales pipeline. Talk to neighbors. Farm-to-table buyers, clean food stores, or chef-driven restaurants. Offer pre-orders for holiday birds or sample tastings. Early interest validates your next scale step. Step 4. Graduate to 100 birds. Once your routine is smooth and your first sales are confirmed, double down. At approximately 100 birds, most farms find their feed bill pays for itself through steady sales of meat, eggs, or breeding pairs. You're still lean, still nimble, but now you're generating cash flow that funds improvements, extra fencing, a solar pump, a small pellet press. ROI milestone. At 100 birds, your feed pays for itself. At 300, your farm pays for your family. Those aren't slogans, they're practical thresholds. At 100, your operating costs stabilize. At approximately 300 birds, you usually cover household essentials if you keep forage high and losses low. Step 5. Scale to 200 to 300 birds with systems. Not stress. Scaling is not more of everything. It's better systems. Modular paddocks. 3 to 4 zones you can rotate on a fixed calendar. Standard operating procedures, SOPs. A one-page morning checklist, water, gates, grain. A weekly hygiene checklist, pond refresh, bedding flip, and a monthly health audit. Micro-automation. Solar pump for the pond. A timer on lights. A DIY pellet press to uniform feed. Batching tasks. Weigh birds in lots of 20. Clean troughs in one focused block. And compost on a set, Friday flip. With clean routines, one disciplined person can comfortably manage 250 to 300 geese on pasture. If you add a helper, give them the checklists, not vague instructions. Systems protect profits. Step 6. Reinvest with a 30-30-30-10 rule. When profit arrives, resist the urge to spend it all. Use this simple allocation. 30% expansion, more fencing, breeding stock, or an extra paddock. 30% infrastructure, shelter upgrades, water lines, solar gear. 30% reserves. A feed and vet buffer for 60 to 90 days. 10% marketing and brand, labels, photos, a simple website, and farmers market fees. This discipline turns a side hustle into a business with resilience. Step 7. Diversify outputs as you grow. At 200 to 300 birds, add profit streams. Meat birds, holiday geese, chef specials. Breeding pairs, premium pricing for quality lines. Eggs for niche baking, holiday markets. Compost from bio-litter, bagged and branded. Each stream stabilizes cash flow across seasons. If one dips, another rises. Step 8. Expand responsibly. Before you add the next 100 birds, ask, is pasture recovering? Are water systems stable? Are buyers lined up? Scaling too fast breaks good farms. Scaling wisely compounds them. Check local ordinances if you're suburban. Build goodwill with neighbors, clean ponds. Quiet evenings, scheduled deliveries. Remember, your advantage isn't size, it's efficiency, story, and quality. Start where you are, grow what you can manage. Let data guide the next step. The land will teach you, if you keep listening. And with each small, intelligent expansion, your farm becomes what it was always meant to be: profitable, peaceful, and proudly yours. 12. Branding, marketing, and farm identity. Farming is no longer just about producing food, it's about telling a story. In the digital age, people don't simply buy what you grow, they buy why you grow it. They crave authenticity, connection, and meaning. Your Lion Goose farm can become more than a business. It can become a brand that inspires trust, loyalty, and community. 1. Build your identity. Be proud. Be clear. Start with a name and a message that reflect your values. It could be as simple as the Green Pasture Goose Farm, organic, humane, proudly homegrown. Create a clean, memorable label that reflects quality and care. Whether you're selling meat, eggs, or compost, make sure your brand speaks the same language everywhere. Organic Lion Goose meat, pasture-raised, naturally fed, antibiotic-free. Keep the visuals warm and earthy, greens, browns, soft golds, echoing nature's tones. A simple logo with a silhouette of a goose or a rising sun works better than anything flashy. Remember, a great brand doesn't shout, it whispers confidence. 2. Craft your story. People buy emotion, not just products. Behind every successful farm brand is a genuine story. Share yours. Why did you start? What challenges did you face? How do you raise your geese differently? For example, we began with 20 geese and a dream to raise animals the natural way. No antibiotics, no waste, just sunlight, clean grass, and care. Today, our flock gives back more than it takes, feeding our family, enriching our soil, and proving that small farms still matter. This kind of emotional storytelling makes your customers feel part of something real. They aren't just buying meat, they're supporting a movement, a return to honest, sustainable farming. When someone picks up your product at a local market or orders online, they should feel they're joining your journey. That emotional bond turns one-time buyers into lifelong supporters. 3. Go digital. Share the farm life. Social media isn't just for influencers, it's for farmers who care. You don't need a production team, just a smartphone and authenticity. Facebook page. Post farm updates, short videos, and special offers. People love seeing the behind the scenes of real life, muddy boots, sunrise chores, baby goslings hatching. YouTube Shorts or TikTok, 15 to 30-second clips of your geese grazing, feeding, or bathing in sunlight can go viral faster than you think. Add calm music or your own narration. Instagram or Threads. Share beautiful shots of your farm's daily life with short, heartfelt captions. Local markets. Print simple flyers with QR codes linking to your social pages. Let people follow your story beyond the stall. Remember, your geese are your best marketers. Their beauty, calmness, and natural setting already sell the idea of health and purity. All you have to do is show it. 4. Join a community, the Farmers Alley Network. No farmer succeeds alone. That's why joining a supportive network like the Farmers Alley can take your vision further. This growing global community connects small and medium-scale farmers who believe in sustainable, tech-smart agriculture. Through shared videos, collaborative stories, and virtual workshops, members inspire each other to innovate, adapt, and thrive. It's a family of modern farmers, from backyard enthusiasts in Texas to orchard owners in Vietnam, united by the same philosophy. Farm smarter, live simpler, grow together. Joining such a network gives your brand legitimacy, learning resources, and even marketing exposure, because the modern farming movement is global. 5. The last word. Make them feel it. Good branding is emotion wrapped in truth. Every post, every label, every handshake should make people feel your passion for clean food and responsible living. When someone bites into your product, they should taste more than flavor, they should taste your story. And that's what will make your Lion Goose Farm unforgettable, not just another supplier, but a name that stands for something pure, something hopeful, something beautifully human. So here we are, at the end of our journey, but really, at the beginning of yours. We've traveled together through the world of the Lion Goose, from its powerful origins to its incredible potential as a low-cost, high-value farming model. You've seen how simple grass can become gold, how waste can turn into wealth, and how even a small backyard can transform into a thriving, sustainable ecosystem. You now know the formula. Build a clean pasture. Feed naturally. Protect your flock. Recycle your waste. And grow step by step. No fancy machinery. No impossible investments. Just knowledge, patience, and a little faith in nature. If farmers in Asia, from the orchards of Dak Lak to the rice fields of Nagayan, can turn a few dozen geese into a life-changing business, then so can you. It doesn't matter where you live or how much land you have. What matters is that you start. Because every great farm, every big dream, and every success story begins the same way, with one small step. Imagine waking up to the soft sounds of your geese grazing in the morning dew. Imagine your backyard not as an expense, but as an engine of abundance. Imagine the satisfaction of feeding your family with clean, homegrown food, or handing over a carton of organic eggs to a local buyer who smiles because they can taste the difference. That's not a fantasy. It's a future waiting for those brave enough to start. So take this as your sign, your green light. Don't wait for perfect timing, perfect land, or perfect weather. Just begin. Raise your first flock. Learn, adjust, grow. The land will teach you everything you need to know if you just listen. And when you do, remember, you're not alone. The Farmers Alley community stands with you. We're building a new generation of smart, sustainable farmers. People who believe that success doesn't have to destroy the planet. And that modern farming can be both profitable and peaceful. Rice plant if this story inspired you. Share it. Tag a friend who dreams of farming freedom. Comment your thoughts or your first idea for a backyard setup. Tell us what you'd raise, what you'd grow, and what kind of legacy you want to build. And don't forget to subscribe to the Farmers Alley for more stories, ideas, and blueprints for hidden profit models that are changing lives around the world. Because from the greenest fields to the smallest backyards, one truth remains. From green grass to golden profit, the revolution begins in your backyard.